Hello, this is Gabriel and Icon one more time. Now, like I was talking about in my last video, I know the enemy is around. They don't want to listen, like always. Very important thing like this. You don't want to see Jesus Christ appearing in the sky in order for you to start putting your house in order. Jesus Christ can come at any moment, at any time. You have to know that. And we are going into the last century in which he will come. I don't even think we have 50 years. Within 50 years from now, the likelihood of him coming will be high. If you go around the world, you're going to see a lot of people talking about the experience with Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is expressing himself more and more into people's houses. If I can please drink my toxin free, there's no poison in this, so make me happy and speak well. So Jesus Christ have spoke to me a lot. I'm not like other pastors talking about, I'm not the pastor or priest talking about Jesus Christ spoke to them. I invite Jesus Christ. He comes and he talked to me. It's not a dream. It's not an illusion, or it's not a fantasy. It is a reality. The point is, in my previous video, I told you how you can do the same. Inviting Jesus Christ and speak to him in a daily basis. Jesus Christ will come. He will surprise us. He can come at any time as I speak. It doesn't matter. But do the avenue of Jesus Christ destroy earth? Jesus Christ said, earth will not be destroyed completely, but the map of continents will shift. So it will not be the same. It will shift. Life will continue. But life will continue according to God's desire and plan. It means the new sheriff will be in town. Jesus Christ will be the leader, the governor of that earth after his return. So there's still going to be life, but continent will not be the same the way they are. So there will be a change. There will be a certain change. And I want people to know not to be afraid. Put your house together. Put your act together. We cannot spend time talking about the past. We cannot spend time talking about what happened in the past. What happened has happened. You can't change it. It's done. Pretty much you have to praise the past, because when you praise the past, you acknowledge that you have grown as a person, as an individual, because the past is what made you who you are today. Without that past that you hate, you will not be the person that you are today. So you have to praise that past, but you can change nothing. Today, people waste all the time talking about the past. The past is over. You're still living with, many people who spend the time in the past, they are losers. They are people that they don't see any more way to move forward. So they have to bring everybody into the circle of regret and going back, and because they don't see any future. You see, that's what the devil do. The devil have no future. So what he do? He remind people about the past. About the past. Look what you did. You have nothing to do with what God have reserved for you. That's the reason why I'm talking about congratulating Trump and Putin about what they have done. You know, today people are gonna say Russia has never been a superpower. America has always been a superpower. Be very careful, my friend. Be very, very careful. According to Jesus Christ, there are two nations in this world that control this world: the United States and Russia. Those two will play a big role even for generations. The reason why Jesus Christ said America and Russia will play a big role. China is there, but China is pretty much controlled in certain point by Russia. Let me tell you why. When you see people going around talking about Russia has never been a superpower, you tell me, in order for us to advance, we have to do the same thing that JFK did, John Kennedy did. John Kennedy said, we are the United States of America. There is no way a country like Russia will go into the moon and we don't. So we have to make it happen. So you tell me, which nation went to the space? First is Russia. So if Russia went to space first, you have to know they are not a small country. Now, there are two different systems. The American system is the capitalism system. It means interest, private sectors, a little bit of government, big private sector, investment, and benefit and growth. The Russian system is more communism. It means that the money is there, but everybody in a certain level have the same kind of money they receive. What happened? The government have the potential of building cash, because pretty much everybody, whatever you do, you have the same kind of things. So they are more cash built. Now let me tell you, America is the land of investment, okay, where people can invest their money and gain interest. Russia is the land of natural resources, where people can depend on them. You see, that's how they're so powerful. Now, do you know the deal that Russia have with China? Russia have a deal of almost $400 billion energy gas deal with China. That is the same deal Russia have with the entire Europe. Only with Russia, only with China. Gas and natural resources, including oil. So you can imagine, Russia have a very big influence on China. Now, Russia also have a deal of about 100 billion gas deal with Iran. So they have influence in Iran. Now, some resources came back and say Russia provide gas and oil to North Korea in a black market. So they have influence there too. They have influence in many countries, exclusively in Asia. So people have to be careful when they talk. They don't understand. What Trump did, Trump is a deal maker. Putin, Russian people, they are deal makers. They are people, they don't talk too much if they don't see any benefit of advancing. You are never going to see the Russians and start talking just to talk. They don't have time for that. Trust me. They are people, and that's why I said Trump and Putin are a good match. Because Trump is somebody that he sit down 30 minutes with you, he's going to be asking, how much money do I make sitting here with this guy? You know, what is the benefit sitting here with this guy? I mean, what I'm making here? And I'm making enough. Yeah, so what I'm making? And I'm just sitting here. Well, what do you have? Oh, do you have any deal? You know, so it's the way it's wired. So now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have fun, but even when he have fun, he have to do something that will benefit him. That's how he's wired. Now, when you sit down with Vladimir Putin, you just don't talk to talk. You wanted to see what is the purpose here? What do I'm getting here? What is so both people are thinking the same kind of way. That's why they understood each other. But now people are gonna come and say, well, he was not strong enough. He was very strong enough. I say the people, either Russia have done meddling into the US election. That is something that people cannot prove. You can have facts, but you have to prove your facts. Okay? You can have evidences, but you have to prove that your evidences are true evidences. Because the law is not so simple as people think. Okay? An example. You can claim that, okay, I have been a student in this university. That's the facts. Why? Because you have a student ID and you've been going there and people been watching you. People been seeing you going there. And you can have a proof, a letter that is written that you go there. That's the facts. Now, to prove your facts is something different. Now, to prove that you are enrolled there and you took some classes there and you have grades there, you have to prove that. You can't just say, I am a student there. Believe me. I am a student there. Believe me. No, they're going to say, bring us evidence. So now you have to go and get records that show that you were enrolled in these courses for this date to this date and this to grade. That is what they call proving your facts. So what Putin was saying, you might have what you have, but you have to prove it. You have to link it to us. Something that nobody have done so far. Because anybody can pinpoint, can write a fake IP and pinpoint that IP like it's coming from Russia. Everybody can do it, even in somewhere who know how to write computer code. It's not something new. And I believe that it can even be done by somebody in the United States who's trying to create those kind of conflict. It's possible. Because if everybody can do that, if everybody who have knowledge can do that, it can be done by somebody here in the United States who wanted to create differences between the United States and Russia. So Putin is correct about that point, that you have evidence, but you have to link that evidence with us. You know, something that many people. So that's the reason why Trump said, right, I believe in his word, and I believe that what he said is what I have to go with. Not that I'm completely convinced, but we have to be able to move forward. So that's what he did. So Russia and United States, the way that the president spoke with Vladimir Putin was a very good progressive meetings. A meeting that go more than 2 hours tell you a lot about two people. It means that those two people go along. A meeting, if people don't go along, they're not going to stand there for 2 hours. Trust me. They're not going to stand there for 2 hours. When people stand together for 2 hours, it means those two people have respect for one another. And second, they spoke pretty much the same language. It means 90% of what they were talking about, it was a consensus in which they both agreed to talk about. That's why you talk about 2 hours, more than 2 hours. So people have to know, it is very important. You cannot, people ask, they give in condition. Well, if the Russia really want to be with us, they have to leave Syria. First of all, this is what Jesus Christ said. Will Russia ask the United States to leave Puerto Rico? Will we leave Puerto Rico? Asking Russia to leave Syria is like asking the United States to leave Puerto Rico. It's just impossible. So there are certain people, they just talk to talk because they just want to create some fire. You want to create fire. It's the same thing, pretty much. They have invested a lot of money in Syria. They can't just go like that. And they've been there for a while. So it's like, okay, can you ask, Vladimir Putin to leave Syria? Can you ask the United States to leave Puerto Rico? With all the money they invested there, okay, we invested 7 billion, okay, now we done. No, they don't. So when people talk, they have to find what is behind it. Understand the deal. Any country where people have invested, they don't live like that just to live. That's the reason why the only way to find peace in Russia and in Syria is to work with Russia. Because they've been there. They have 4 bases. They have 4 bases. 4 bases. 4 in Syria. It's pretty much a Russian territory. You tell me any country in this world where the United States have 4 different bases. If it's not belong to them. Any territory. People, you have to talk and talk with wisdom. You just don't talk to talk. Look the facts, look the evidences, and make sense about it. Now you're gonna ask, Trump to come and just say, leave Syria. No, he understands the facts. He understands. He's a deal maker. He's a deal maker. Say, okay, well, they have invested a lot of money. Okay, I can just talk about it now. They can leave. I just have to deal with them. So peace was fine. Okay, we're going to have a ceasefire there like that. Because we know Russia will not leave. And Russia will not let down the support for Al-Assad. Because they know it is the only person they can trust to have peace in that region and protect the interest. My friend. Very simple. Now, coming back to North Korea, they are selling, reports saying that they are selling oil and gas in a dark market to North Korea. Now, the question that I want to ask you, if Russia don't sell gas and oil to North Korea going to be purchasing gas and oil from ISIS. Is that what you want? Because many people talk to talk. Sometimes you have to do what is right to avoid what is worse. If Russia don't sell North Korea gas and oil, North Korea can get that gas and oil from anywhere in a dark market. What are you guys gonna do? So it's better like that. Another reason why, because it's not because one leader is doing what he's doing that we have to penalize the entire nation. There are people out there who are innocent about all these things. You're gonna penalize them. You think that that leader really care? He can live a joyful life, but people will be the ones suffering, and that's not something you want. Even if they believe in a certain thing, they believe in their culture, they believe in that, okay, the more they're punishing us, it is a feeling that we are doing something right. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing. That's the belief they have. They have a Buddhist kind of a belief. The more I'm facing challenges in my life, the more it seems I'm doing something well. So if the West put pressure on us, it's because we are challenging them. We believing in our way of life, and they are jealous of it. That's the way they all see it. But they'll be innocent, paying the price of a belief that might not be favorable for them, but they can say, well, it is for our future. You don't want to go that way. The best way to do is a diplomatic way. Talk to those folks. Ask them exactly what they want. You know? And send the people that understand and know them better. People like China, country like China, and country like Russia, because they're dealing with them. Give them some form of importance. Because every time that somebody irritates you, it's because he want you to give him some attention. So you're always gonna be doing things to irritate people because you want some attention. And that's what North Korea is doing. And we have to understand that. So when it comes to Saudi Arabia and Qatar, Saudi Arabia is a country that God have eyes on, because that's where Abraham come from. That's the place where God spoke to Moses. If you go to that mountain, the true Mount Sinai, not the one that people are talking in Egypt, the true one, the top of that mountain is dark. I mean, the light, the fire that came was the fire of God. It's still dark. I mean, it was burned. The surface was burned. You can see that. The true Mount Sinai. You can see even the bush that burned when Moses was walking by. That was a very big distance. Man, Moses, I don't know. Does he walk in that desert for like how many miles? That's from Egypt to that place. That's, you have to respect these folks. Now, you can see the rock that he knocked. It still is around that mountain place. So Saudi Arabia, they are good manipulators, folks. They're talking about Qatar is supporting terrorism. No, they were all part of the same gang. Okay, all part of the same gang. It get out of control. Now they have to pinpoint hand on somebody. Okay, the Sunnis are the original Arabic state. They are true fundamental of Muslim, of Islam. So the Shia are kind of a little bit liberal, but not too much. So they believe in what they believe. Now that Qatar is try to make tight with Iran, they can't do it, and they have to denounce them first. But when they were actually part of the same gang who supported ISIS, but for those people all supporting ISIS, Saudi Arabia knows something about ISIS. So try to create these kind of things. People have to be honest, and it's not good. They have to be honest. So that's why Donald Trump have to work with Vladimir Putin to make sure that some of those countries where they depend on energy and oil, they can they can be part of the deal and control them. Now, as of President Trump, you're going to be meeting with the French president in a couple of days. The message that I want you to tell them is that we all know about the global system, okay? The Illuminati drive of the New World System, and those other small sectarian groups of, Freemasons, Rose-Croix, the Skull and Bones, the Jesuits, the Knight Templars, and many others that you might know. We all know all those. Those are just small differences, but at the end, they have to go along with the vehicle of the Illuminatis, controlled by Lucifer. So the point is, and the Rothschild family running the show. Money, to the UBS bank. So the point is, we know the kind of ruling that the Europeans have with Africa. The young French president is a model of that system. He was prepared. People saw his star. They saw who he was. They prepared him from the time he was a kid to now. Put him in power. We all know that. I mean, I do know that. People who are initiated understand it and know that. Now, what you have to talk to those leaders is to do the right thing for the people, regardless of the reality that we know. That there's so far they can do. But they have to do the right thing for their people so that the people can advance. They have to be able to sacrifice for the people. They can be they can be living this kind of life and continue to live this kind of life. People cannot stay in power for more than 35 years. You better change that system into a kingdom. It's just deplorable. It's deplorable. Just change it to a kingdom. People will understand. And people will leave you alone. How many people went to Britain, Great Britain, and say, oh, we want the Queen to go. We want the Queen to go. No, I mean, they understand is what it is. But they are proving themselves over time. They just didn't end up being a kingdom out of the blue. They conquer many territory and they amasses a lot of wealth. That made the British pound a very heavy, marketable money exchange. A currency. Very marketable currency. So people have to know those kind of things. We have to be able to work together in this regard and speak to those people. I know you know what happened to my case. You have to be able to speak to the armed forces to let go. All of these things that they're doing, supervising what I do, try to seize me from my journey in this earth. It's not good things. They have to stop that operation and start working with me. The king of Jordan studied in the United States. He went back to become a king of Jordan. The prime minister Benjamin Netanyahu studied in America and pretty much grew in America. So-called me suspected of doing something wrong, it will not be first. Exclusively when you're dealing with somebody who's been there like for 35 years. Come on, man. You have to walk your talk. Every single one of you have children. And you claim to value life. You just don't value life with your own children. You value life with other people's children. Exclusively when you know there's something wrong, you do what is right. We have to be able to do that. So you speak to the president of France, to speak to his counterpart in Cameroon, to leave me alone. And leave me alone, and when you come back, with all the respect I have for you, you speak to the people of the military to let go the pursuit or try to destroy my journey into the United States, and work with me. I have many talents that can be used for the benefit of these nations. Not only spiritual, but also physical. Intellectual in my level. I mean, I'm not the most intelligent person, but giving opportunity, the brain is there to work. The brain is there to work. So what is these things that people I continue to do like we are not evil people. We can't be acting like we cannot change things. God didn't make us like that. We decide to be like that. This is not the way forward for the society we claim. We love our children, but we cannot do this the same thing for other people's children. That is hypocrisy. And that don't work with God. It doesn't. This is the truth, and people have to follow that. So you speak to your counterpart. You speak to him, you tell him what's going on with this deal. I'm coming to America. I am knocking this thing off because I would not like my child to go into this kind of pressure for 15 years. Being in another country, and you ask your president to start opening path for the youth for the future to take over and move forward with the next generations and support them. At a certain point, everything have an end. We just not gonna keep going like you are the only one made in this earth. And it become a normality in people's eyes, an abomination. And people make fun of it like it's normal. And there's nothing we can do. No, there's something we can do. Even within the Illuminati system, find somebody, make some change. Make some change. You got to be able to do that. Make some change. The guy have gone for the next election next year that I believe if God gave him more time to live, he's going to win that. And I don't know how many years he's going to want to stay there. His ambition is to die there. And when he dies, we're going to be of that nation. War going to come because everybody going to try to claim power. That's not what you want. And make decision. Talk to him. Make him sit down and talk to him with all respect. President of France can do that. But destroying future generation future is wrong. If people have done that for you and the president of France, you should not be where you are today as president. So don't allow other people to do that for other children, for other people. Even him over there in Cameroon, if people have done that for him, he should not be where he is. So we have to be truthful. We have to be less hypocritical. We talk about being good, but we have to walk our talk and talk our walk. You mean what you say and you say what you mean. And you stand with it. This operation must stop, and it must stop completely. It's not progressive, it's not advancing, it's not beneficial, it is only regressive, out of no benefit to get out of this, other than destruction of somebody's future. That's not God's will. That is satanic will. And if we call ourselves a nation of Christian nation, we know better. We should know better. So that's the message of today. And I hope that the president, somebody will talk to him about it over there, because he's still going to be there into next week for the celebration of the French, if that's still stand, independence. And you talk to him, you talk to this man over there, and stop it, and stop doing that. There's an end to everything. We have to always be prepared for the end. Always in life. We didn't create ourselves. We didn't create all of these things that we see. God did. So we have an end to everything. It should not be a surprise. It should not be something that you have to force somebody to understand. It should be very natural. I have an end There's an end to everything I start. I should prepare my exit. For some people, it's just so difficult. And we don't understand why. Other than evil. So, nice talking to you. And I hope that all of you have a very pleasant time. And you pass the message and you invite Jesus Christ in your life to give you more wisdom through the power of the Holy Spirit. Controlled by whom? God the Father, Elohim, Yahweh, Havaveh. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time, and I hope that you have enjoyed the video. And my next video gonna be fame and humiliation, the manifesto of Illuminati versus light. It's coming next for another 30 minutes, and we're gonna be talking more on this Saturday. And I really appreciate your time. Enjoy your weekends.